morning of the ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup African Division 2 qualifier here at Entebbe Cricket Oval. It's Kenya up against Cameroon. First things first, let's see what happened at toss with the two captains.
A bright and sunny morning here at the Lakeside Oval, Entebbe, in the Pearl of Africa, Uganda. Welcome to match day 2 of the ICC Under-19 T20 African Division 2 qualifier, where Kenya will be playing Cameroon. With me is Melvin Kagoisa from Kenya, Ate Chris Kelly from Cameroon, and Julia Chibaba, the match and tournament referee. Melvin will toss and Chris will make the call.
Coin. Head.
Tails win the toss.
We'll bat first.
Melvin, what will you do this morning?
We'll bat first.
Why have you chosen to bat first this morning?
It's a good wicket and we're looking to score more runs in the wicket.
Okay. Are there any changes to your side?
Yes. Nancy is coming in and then Joy is staying out.
Okay. Good luck in the game. Chris, what would you have liked to do first?
I would like to take batting first.
Okay, but you are bowling first. Are there any changes to your side?
No, it's no changes for today.
Okay, good luck in your game.
Thank you.
From the center, Kenya has won the toss and have elected to bat first. Good morning. Welcome to the preview for match day number 2. Here with me is Innocent Ndaula and Ivan Sajabi. With us in the comms box, Naomi Kayondo. I would like by starting to ask Innocent about highlights of yesterday's action, the 2 games that we did see here in Entebbe. What are the highlights for you?
Very good day for cricket yesterday. Of course, Malawi coming out of the blocks in very good form and winning that game, chasing that score of 46 in just 6.3 overs. You have to give it to Angela Lumbe and Sifue Frank, how they chased the score, and how in the morning Kisinja Bridget bowled 4 wickets there in the morning, and then in the afternoon it was a very good game there for Kenya. Kenya, of course, one of the favorites for this one. They are not saying it, but they are believing that they can do this, and Kenya, of course, are going to win by 9 wickets, chasing that score of 57 in just 5.3 overs. So Kenya were all over the place. They were all over the opposition like a bad rush, and they made them pay heavily.
Thank you, Innocent, for the highlights for match day number 1. Ivan Sajabi, Kenya won the toss this morning and elected to bat. In terms of score, what total do you think they are going to post this morning?
Thank you so much, Naomi. Good morning, viewers from wherever you are. Happy to be here. Match day number 2 of the tournament. Yesterday, Kenya got off a very good start, getting that first win. But somehow you would speak about their performance. Their bowling did come to the party. They gave away quite many extras. Janet Makau, a player who played for the national team, was a bit guilty, in my opinion. But today, looking at this game, Kenya winning the toss and opting to bat first, I think it's good for them to try and make sure they go to the wicket, try to express themselves and get some more runs. When you look at the last Division 2 qualifier, which was played in 2024, Melvin Kagoisa, who is currently the captain for Kenya, was the leading run scorer in that tournament, scoring 388 runs. So coming into this game, clearly shows that she will be looking at making sure that she expresses herself at the wicket, make sure to get some more runs. But getting to your question, I think a score close to 130 should be on the cards.
Wow, Ivan, 130, interesting projection there. Innocent, looking into the game this morning, Cameroon have been caught off with bowling extras and stuff like that. Do you think they will be able to chase this score of 130 that Ivan has talked about?
First and foremost, is it Cameroon playing in the morning or Malawi?
Cameroon is playing in the morning.
Well, Cameroon is going to find it a tall order against Kenya. Yesterday, Kenya didn't win the toss. You could clearly see on the faces of their former internationals, the legendary captain Margaret Banja and Maurice Amolo Auma, who I am happy to have played with at under-19 level. They felt a little bit, a tinge, a shiver in the spines that they were not able to win the toss because they would have loved them to bat. And when they batted at the top of the order, you could see how Hamisi, the keeper batter, and Tania Atieno expressed themselves very confident confident, playing bold shots. And when Melvin Kaguisa came in, she opens the batting for the senior women's team. And at this level, she showed that, well, she's extraordinary, a class above the ordinary when it comes to this level. So she was meeting everything halfway the track, middling everything, and she was gliding through her innings. That's why they were able to win easily, because she creamed fours through the covers, on the onside and all over the place. So Cameroon are going to be on the back seat in this one. And I tell you what, Kenya will want to put up a big score until the whole
and being given to that's an unfortunate note.
Hey.
Is Asubuhi to the Kenyans. Bonjour to our people from Cameroon. I hope that we will stay tuned in as the two nations battle it out here in the shape of the under-19 girls here in Entebbe. A good day of cricket. It's sunny and bright. And we're looking forward to an exciting game this morning.
And the two umpires standing in this game, Patrick Makumbi Musoke standing alongside Veronica Ire. Musoke is from here whereas Veronica Ireho is from Rwanda. But Foku Sananga Jane Fortunate for team Cameroon. Having 4 runs. Just one off the bat. Whereas the rest of the 3 runs are all extras from Fortunate. And that's a much better line. Fortunate bowling it a bit full, trying to force Tania to drive. And I love the energies from the Cameroon fielders. They are really making sure that at her field she has the 3rd man down and the cow corner fielder that is in the air. Who wants to take that one? The chance goes begging. Cameroon had an opportunity of picking up the first wicket. That ball ended up landing in the same zone. Second run off the bat for Team Kenya. Yesterday Kenya got off the flyer. They made sure that they win their opening game. Playing against Mozambique, Kenya got a victory, a 9 wickets victory. Whereas Cameroon in the morning, in the opener of the tournament, they were on the bad side of the results, losing out to Malawi by 8 wickets. Kenya and Malawi played in the T20 qualifiers. That should be a boundary. But you know, there is some good work there from the two fielders, giving it full commitment and chase and making sure that they calculate on the slow outfield to keep that one inside. That double marks the end of over number 1. And at the end of the first over, the scoreboard reads 8 for no loss.
Ivan, a very lengthy first over. Not the start that
End of the first over. 8 runs on board for Dolos. 2 batters for Team Kenya. Tanya Atieno and Zainabu.
Get under with the second over of this batting innings of Team Kenya. Kenya has won the toss and opted to bat first. They are just making sure that they get some runs. And Akele Doris is the bowler who's coming in for the second over match. The dot ball. That's a bit short, but it's straight to the fielder. At covers another dot ball in the over.
Ivan, looking at Zainabu making that attempt, at least one of the things that we know about the Kenyan players all the way to the senior teams is that aggression. So you'd want to see her hit that ball a little harder, and for any misfields, that should be extra runs for them. This time Akele pushes it into her pads, and Zainabu is not able to connect that one. And a big scream there, but umpire Veronica is not interested, saying not out, but it is giving the Cameroon players a bit of hope that they're able to get those balls, their deliveries, at least into the pads of the Kenyan batters.
Yesterday, Zainabu scored 15 of 13 before she was run out by Juliet Mateus. There is a no ball call there from the umpire because the wicketkeeper's gloves were ahead of the stumps before the ball came into play. Kenya. Well, the captain, wicketkeeper, they are going into the umpire, trying to inquire why is it a no ball, and the umpire explaining to him that, in other words, for us to use the ball.
And Ivan, that comes, every no ball now comes with that free hit. And I'm sure the wicketkeeper has picked that lesson never to do it again. But let's see whether Zainabu can make the most of this free hit opportunity.
And here Akele comes with a free hit. A wild swing there from Zainabu. But she swung the blade, her eyes closed, no contact. The ball in the over. Her blade try and access the onside, but she didn't manage to get out of that area.
The Cameroon coach there, very energetic, saw her at the nets with the girls, and you can see that she's making all her efforts to ensure that these girls are getting better every day. Ivan, something about the awareness, the Cameroon girls don't seem to realize that for that free hit, the opportunity of an elbow is not exactly there. But at this stage, a learning curve for them at under 19 level. And like the captain has already mentioned, they're also here to learn, to improve their game, but also learn.
That one to the parts of Zainabu, and it is worked backward of the square to bring up the first boundary in this game. Good contact there from Zainabu to bring up that first boundary in this game. Of Because the tournament of emerging nations, 5 nations playing in this one, they will all be hoping that they can take a few lessons to try and again improve their tournament back at home, their cricket back at home. Cameroon playing in this tournament for the very first time. They were not in that qualifier which happened in 2024 in Kigali, Rwanda. Kenya and Malawi being the like sides, but we've come to the end of the first over. A much better over compared to the first we went for 8. And Akela Doris's over goes for 5. Scoreboard reading 13 for no loss after 2.
Two overs down. The score is 13 for no loss.
If you look at the qualifier, it was played in 2024. It was the 17 tournaments that played in a single robin format, and the top 2 played in the finals. Malawi completing unbeaten in that group stage game, 6 out of 6. Whereas for Kenya, they lost just a single game but made it to the final, and in the final, Malawi managed to beat Kenya by 2 wickets, and both teams were qualified for the Division 1, which was played still in Rwanda. Unfortunately, both teams didn't win any game in their groups. Kenya lost 3 in Group A, and Malawi lost 3 in Group B, and both of them were relegated again. Then they will be looking at making sure that they play well, though there is a Sierra Leone in the mix. Another team which can cause an upset in this tournament.
Ivan, that sounds like a case of too close and yet too far. If they left Division 2, being the top, and then reaching Division 1 and they're relegated, too close and yet too far, but that is the game. They now have an uphill task of qualifying again back to the main qualifier, where Kenya is showing us that it is where it belongs. But the Cameroon fielders also continuously working. An attempt there for a man card, but not the kind of dismissal that you want to see at this level. A mini appeal there. Ball and just a few other fielders aware about what is happening. Arms going up. Appeal not exactly loud. And Mr. Makumbi walks to his partner, Veronica, to inquire about that kind of dismissal, Ivan.
They have the conversation, you look at the perspective, but that's given by the umpire. The man card is affected, and the umpire, Patrick Makumbi Musoka, raises up his finger. A comic fashion as Kenya lose their first wicket. Disappointment there for the batter, but in the end she'll have to make the long walk back. Out of nothing, Cameroon manages to pick up a wicket, and Kenya is already 15 for 1 in the third over. Not so many times we see such type of dismissals.
Ivan, there's been a huge discussion about that dismissal. One, it is legally in the laws of cricket, but its applicability seems to have issues about whether it's in the spirit of the game. But still, as a batter, where is the batter going? You know, they're trying to get a head start. Interesting discussion. I know it's controversial. And right now, the Kenyans must be saying what kind of cricket is being dug out.
All the way downtown for the second boundary in this game. A bit plated and full. Titania Atieno, who manages to play it downtown to pick up another boundary. Says yes, the wicket has fallen, but that can't stop us from going.
Misfield there at the square leg region, and it gives the Kenyans an opportunity to run 3. Captain Melvin pushing Tanya to ensure that they keep running and piling as many runs as they can.
Energetic running between the wickets for Team Kenya. Just 2 boundaries after 2 full overs, and we are into the 3rd. So they don't need to run between the wickets. Hit and run there. As soon as she had it, go to her plane, she made sure that she takes off very quickly to get off the back and keep the scoreboard ticking for Kenya. Scoreboard reads for a loss of 1 after 3 overs. The 214 back up.
Women's match. Just yesterday was celebrating the International Women's Day. Our first flowers go to the umpire, the female umpire there, Veronica Iriho, all the way from Rwanda, doing an amazing job. Just as I was preparing for the toss, I found her with the other umpires walking around and just using that bat gauge and just understanding the settings, looking at the field. Would like to give flowers to the female umpires here. Veronica Iriho, we have Sharon Athwola, very many others coming up. And it is a good sight for women that are excelling in sport. It's a good sight for women in sport. And we continue back to the cricket. The captain herself being able to play that ball back straight to Foko, who seems to have a really straight and good line, not giving them much of width, of course, minus the earlier wides that she delivered. But she's trying to keep that ball within the line. Overcompensating there, delivering one down the leg, umpire judging that wide. And the Kenyans will know that anything that comes extra is a bonus for their total.
South Africa, where led India. Whereas India won both. where Rwanda managed to represent Africa. With that qualifier to South Africa, that was part of that World Cup. That was very difficult. At the 2024, the given were best 17s. Three of those teams missing in the first part of Ghana. This year, Cameroon coming into the mix, and Nigeria qualifying for the second World Cup, which was played in 20, which was played in Malaysia. Right, because they had the better run, that being beaten. But with that game, advanced and made and represented Africa. 6 teams already individual. One waiting for whoever will make it. The other 6 to make the puzzle complete. That qualifier will be played later this year in Tanzania. Long over for Kutumo Deliver is copying this over. You feel that her first over was much better because she gave away just 5 runs. And when you look at this over so far, she has already given away 8. And she's still struggling to find her rhythm and line with the 2 more deliveries to complete. And you look at her over. That over. And just that her line to get more dot balls and wrap up over in quick time. Even Kagoitsa keep
Boku able to get that in the line, playable region. And like Ivan mentioned earlier, what is bowled between the stumps is really not played. Dot ball there, closing off the 4th over. And Kenya are 29 for the loss of just 1 wicket after 4.
bowling change for Team Cameroon. Starts with a wide one, but she'll be happy that she had the sweeper. Not too much power in that throw there by Sakinatu. And the bowling change is jersey number 9, Nafak Kana Livana, bowling in from the airport end. Up in the air, chance to catch. Is it a bump ball? Yes, it's a bump ball. But they are happy that everything that was flying in the air, they managed to catch it. Maybe it's a positive for them as Team Cameroon.
It surely is, Ivan. Having spoken to the captain yesterday, she said there are quite a number of lessons for them. But you can see some kind of improvement in the field because yesterday they were not doing very well. But there, Melvin, the captain, rocks back and claps that one to the square leg, deep square leg region. And it comfortably races all the way to the boundary, adding 4 runs onto the Kenyan score. The Cameroon bowlers will know that they have to keep everything in line with middle and off stump, to be on the safer side.
She went a bit short, and in the end Melvin Kagwaitsa managed to pull it away, sending it down to the boundary fences. Kenya has kept the flow of runs. Spectators would love to see it there from Melvin Kagwaitsa, and it should go all the way to the boundary. Back-to-back boundaries there for the Kenyan skipper. Just creating room and waiting on it, making sure that she dabs it over the bowler. Mid-on and mid-off were up, so she made sure that she brings up that boundary, and when she concedes that boundary, Namfaka, she introduces a fielder at long on, so she is using a wide extra cover and a long on as the two fielders outside. Dabs it up in the air, but it falls safe, and another run for Melvin. Final ball of the over, and a dot ball there from Akele. No extras in the over, already a positive for Team Cameroon. And after 5 overs, this Sakinatu back to ball her second over, the final over to complete the power play of this game. Scoreboard at 40 for 1. 13 of 11 for Melvin Kagwaitsa. A short ball, she tries to hit it out of the block hole, but a dot ball. The bowler should be happy that the second bounce was right inside the crease, because that could have been a no ball. And when you look at the field, interesting field setup there, long on, standing a bit wide, plus an extra cover fielder for Melvin. Hitting it down the ground, and it is misfielded by the fielder at mid-on, but they will only take 1 run. Some power coming in from Melvin Kagwaitsa on those full pitched balls.
Zainabu leaning into it and playing it just between point and cover region, which allows them to comfortably take that single. And for the Kenyan batters, rotating that strike, keeping the scoreboard ticking is just what it and the goal is. They've continued to pile runs. We've seen some tower overs before that, bowled by Foku. She's conceded 8, she's conceded 11. But the Kenyan batters are also keeping their head down just to ensure that everything that is loose is disciplined, everything that is loose actually goes for a boundary, or they will take those quick runs to ensure that they keep the scoreboard ticking. And Melvin, the captain, goes big, takes on Foku, and he traces all the way over the mid-off region to the boundary for 4 runs.
It was stop there for Melvin Kagwaitsa. She has power. She's opened for the senior women's team of Kenya. She just makes sure that she accesses that vacant area. When you look at that shot, it went towards the long offside. The fielder was standing right at mid-off, meaning that as long as that went over her head, it had to be a boundary for Melvin Kagwaitsa. Final ball of the over. And a wide. It was a good beginning to the over. The over started with a dot ball, but a wide in there. Something to improve for Team Cameroon. Of course, when you look at the previous over, there was no extra in the previous over. If Kenya is to get runs, let all those runs come from the bats, but don't keep giving them the extras. And still struggling there from Sakinatu. She's trying to bowl it to the offside. Unfortunately, nowhere close in those guideing lines. It should be just making sure she adjusts the line so that we mark at the end of the power play. Maybe with losing their fielding restrictions, Malawi will pick up, I beg your pardon, Cameroon will pick up something. But let's play to the cover, and it's vacant. Melvin Kagoitsa pushing for the second run. Yes, no call. And not too much power there from that throw. That single marks the end of the over and the power play. And the scoreboard reads 49 for 1 after 6 overs.
Team Kenya batting and Cameroon is building.
As we come to the end of the power play, the scoreboard reads 49 for a loss of 1 after 6 overs. And now Cameroon will have the liberty of using 4 fielders outside at the end of this 6th over. They subsequently take a change in the bowling attack as Jazzy number Jersey number 16 is the bowling change. She starts with a dot ball and she receives an applause from her teammates because they know the importance of bowling good areas to try and make sure that you don't give the opposition many runs. That is it to extra cover. Fine stop, cutting that one off to just a single. The throw not so convincing, but Kenya will be happy to take the 1 run.
Very good batting sides here for Team Kenya. I like the fact that the captain Melvin rocks back a bit and still identifies places that ball in the gap. And we have seen her doing it the earlier overs. And it puts them in a very comfortable position. While still at it, Zainabu goes big. Strikes that one all the way to the long off region. Long on region. And a very good fielding shift there by Jersey number 12. Stopping that boundary, saving her team some runs. They will be very happy with that fielding shift.
Yeah, full commitment from the fielder, running in from long on, putting her body down in the line and saving her team runs. Match day number 2 of the ICC Under 19 Women's T20 World Cup qualifier. 2 teams among these 5 teams will make it to the Division 1. So make sure that you play well so that you're counted at the end of the day. And when you look at Kenya into this tournament, they are favorites. They already have a win in the bag as they overcame Mozambique yesterday by 9 wickets. So they'll need to make sure that they keep that momentum. They won the toss today and opted to bat first. Over the head of the fielder, down to long off for just a single. And this is a much better over. 4 runs off the over, no extras in the over, and at the end of the 7th, score is 53 for a loss of 1. Another bowling change for Team Cameroon. Coming in from the road end. That's driven down the ground by Zainabu. The fielder chipping in a dive, but a half shift. And in the end, they managed to pick up 2 runs. Good running for the Kenyan batters. They're making sure that they go for the boundaries, but also they have made sure that the running between the wickets is top.
Ivan, looking at that flight that Akamba has given Melvin, giving her a bit of comfort, yeah? But this time, she chops the flight, pitches it, and is able to tap it, that which has been played back to her. A bit of work to be done there by the Cameroon girls in the fields. Been a couple of misfields, something that the coach would have to work on with a bit more intent. Struck down beautifully by Zainabu. Struck very hard to the long on region. And they comfortably take their 2 runs.
When you look at the fielders that Cameroon is using at the boundary, they are fielders that are making sure that they cut off the runs. Longer on, longer off, extra cover, and deep mid wicket for no extra so far in the over. It was a bit flighted, but half-hearted in stopping that one at covers, though they don't take the run. And it's much better there for Team Cameroon. The backup now starting to come out. The chemistry of this game starts coming out slowly when you keep playing together. And I think Cameroon will be a team that will be hoping to go on and improve. And you look at their fixtures, starting with the last Division 2 champions, Malawi. Then in the following day, they give you the last Division 2 runners-up, Kenya. You really start and you have to land the hard way. That is missed by the fielder backward at Gale, but she manages to recover. The throw not so convincing, but the ball reached the wicketkeeper and they'll just take 2 runs.
Ivan, the throw not convincing, that's true. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of work to be done in the field for the coach there. But Zainabu and Melvin here for the Kenyan team, holding fort and maintaining their good partnership. Zainabu already on 22 runs off 21 balls, and Melvin, her captain, is on 20 of 18. Zainabu goes big again. And that one goes all the way to the boundary. Beautifully struck there by the captain, Melvin. And they'll be happy to continue piling those runs for Team Kenya. At the end of the 8th over, Kenya 63 for the loss of 1.
When you look at the squad for Team Kenya that played in 24, Zainabu Hamisi and Melvin Kagwaitsa are part of the returnees. They were in that tournament. Zainabu Hamisi scored 56 runs from 6 innings at a strike rate of 84.85, whereas her batting partner at the moment, Melvin Kagwaitsa, scored 338 runs from 6 innings at a strike rate of 169. So these two will have to make sure that they now carry Team Kenya forward. Kenya still motoring on and getting the runs. 63 in the first 8 overs. As there is another change in the bowler who will be coming in. Jersey number 12, Zanga Precious Changa, there for Team Cameroon. Long on, long off, down at the boundary, extra cover, deep square leg, protecting the fences there for Melvin Kagwaitsa. This is a game where you umpire and you also have to teach players a thing or two. Hit and run there from Melvin Kagwaitsa. A half-hearted dive at covers and they take the run.
Zainabu strikes that one very well. Fine leg region, and he traces all the way to the boundary. She has been consistent in picking up a boundary, attempting to pick up a boundary every over, at least for those that are delivered to her. So we see that they are building a good partnership there. Zainabu at 30, off just 23 balls, and her captain not so far away from that. Just 9 runs short at 21, off 19. Zainabu and Melvin will know that their partnership is key to get to that total that you projected, Ivan, of 130.
And then look at this inning so far. They have already scored 7 boundaries, and they're just making sure that they keep the runs flowing for Kenya. Zainabu operating at a strike rate of 130, whereas for Melvin, she's at 110 for a 21 of 19. So both batters have made sure that they keep runs flowing. She closed in her bat. That ball was in the slot for a cut shot, and she just open up her blade or maybe play it late, because when you look at the backward of the square on the offside, there is a gully fielder, but there is a gap between that point and the gully because they are not using a backward gully. So slicing up your bat could give you some runs in that area. This time around, she opens up the blade. Work to do for extra cover. She chips in the dive and manages to cut that one off from running to the boundary.
Fielding flowers there for Foku Sanang, who puts her body on the line for her team and saves Cameroon conceding that boundary, but very well struck there by Melvin. Opening up the blade this time, playing a proper cut shot. She does it once again. Over the short cover region, goes blazing very hard. And number 9, Akele, does the backup and cleanup work. Otherwise, that was another boundary to be conceded. Akele doing that cleanup work and helping Cameroon not concede that boundary. Closing off the 9th over. Kenya are 72 for the loss of 1.
The Malawi team arriving here at Entebbe Cricket Oval. Yesterday they were in action and they managed to get first victory against Cameroon in the morning game. They are back. They are the defending champions of this tournament because they beat Kenya by 2 wickets in that game which was played at the Gahanga 2 Stadium in Kigali in 2024. So they come back to make sure that they make another mark Angela Lumbe being part of the returnees. She was part of the other qualifier, and now she's back for Team Malawi. As we head into the 10th over, Nafaka Kanauge in her first returns with a flighted one. Hit down the ground by Melvin Kagoitsa. And just one run for them to add to the total. But I tell you, Naomi, when you look at the fielding for Team Cameroon, the stopping of the ball has not been so bad at the boundary. One thing they need to work on is the throws. If I am the coach, I know I have some notes to go back and do. Well, this year might be for participating, but as the teams keep going, they will look to make sure that they go on improving. You look, there was a chance of a run out there. Maybe it could have been a different reward, but in the end, she got the arm, she got the ball, and went for an underarm throw. And in the end, Kenya surviving, losing out so many wickets. So something they need to improve is those throws from the boundaries and within the field.
Very well said there, Ivan. I agree entirely. There's a lot of work to be done with the field. But the Kenyan batters, Melvin and Zainabu, are able to read and know that, okay, the fielders have moved out a bit, playing hit and run, drop it short, and then sprint through for those singles, which makes for good batting sights here. Melvin still guilty of closing her bat, not opening that blade very well to get her a very good cut shot. Very, very guilty of closing the bat too early. Something that Coach Morris will have taken note of, I'm certain.
Still enjoying her batting here, Melvin Kagwaitsa. That doesn't carry to the fielders. And she will run and take the second run. 75 for 1 with just a ball to play in this 10th over. And this is the final ball of the over. Just get it to point, fumbled, but they don't take the run right under her nose. And that will mark the end of the over. A much better over there from Nafakana. In the first, she gave away 4. Now she's given away 3 in her second. And at the halfway mark, the scoreboard reads 75 for a loss of 1 wicket.
10 overs down. The score is 75 for the loss of 1 wicket.
Oh, here at Entebbe Cricket Oval. This is match day number 2 of the ICC Women's T20 World Cup Africa Division 2 qualifiers. It's Kenya up against Cameroon. Cameroon debutants in this tournament. As Naomi Kayondo takes a break, and I'm joined in by Innocent Ndaola here in the comms. Akamba returns to bowl her second over for Cameroon. She gave her 10 runs in her first over, and now she's just making sure that she deploys a straight long on fielder with a wide long off, extra cover, and deep mid wicket right there at the boundary. The umpire just having a chat with the captain. Good morning, Innocent, and welcome to the comms.
Good morning, Ivan. It's a beautiful morning once again to be here at the ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup Africa Division 2 qualifier. The prizes are few in cricket. Many times no one remembers second best, but in this one, second best will actually get a chance to be on an Airbus to Dar es Salaam in September. The top 2 are out of the 5. This is being very generous. Long ago it used to be just 1. But now the best 2 will be in Division 1, where teams like Rwanda, Uganda will be the ultimate prize as they continue to milk the boundaries here. Melvin Idambo Kagoisa, the sister Lavenda Idambo. She loves to call herself Lavisky. Watching on and enjoying this one, everyone in Kenya will be happy that The toss came their way and they are gliding on nicely. The runs have come quick and fast. And in their dugout, they have two veterans, call them legends, in Margaret Banja and Maurice Amolo Ouma, who I was happy to play with at the under-19 level for their respective countries. Doing the hard work, both capable batters, and they will be happy with such a score. 79 for 1 in 10 means they can get to 180 easily.
They need to make sure that they maintain the partnerships. When you look at the way Melvin Kagweitsa is batting alongside Zainabu, they are grinding on very, very nicely. And they are just making sure that Kenya gets off to a very solid total. The first wicket fell to a man card, but a 64-run second wicket partnership there for Team Kenya between Melvin Kagweitsa and Zainabu. There's a chance to catch, but the fielder misjudging that one completely, getting off the boundary before she saw that the ball would land. It just lands right behind her, and that presses to the boundary. And the 4 more runs added onto the total there by Melvin Kagweitsa.
The boundaries have been beautiful. Look at the scoreboard. It's all looking merry. 34 for Kagweitsa, who came in at 1 drop, the skipper. Touch and go. I like how she's played her and gone about the business in her innings. Controlled aggression. She's packed the power punches with some deft touches. Touch and go here and there. And then when the full tosses come through, the pitched up deliveries, she creams them down the ground. Not even trying to go with hacks, ugly hacks across the line.
And when you look at their partnership, it's worth 69 runs, Melvin contributing 35, whereas Zainab has contributed 27 so far. And for the bowler for Team Cameroon, when she reaches her release, she cuts the speed. Then you could wonder why she went all miles to run. She will be tired. So he always gives you a short run up, and when you come, you just deliver your ball. As long as you can bowl it in the good areas, proper action, swing through your arms, I think it's good business here. Final ball of the over, a much better over. No whites in the over so far there by Akamba. And in the end, she wraps it up with a dot ball. 10 from Akamba's second over, and after 11, the scoreboard reads 85 for a loss of 1 wicket.
The score is 85 for 1 after 11 overs.
Last slot bowler there, Akamba Gigel Isadora, going for 20 in her 2 overs. There's another Gigel, not from Cameroon that we know, but from Rwanda. Evan, let me put you on the spot. What does the name Gigel mean?
Rwanda made it to the first under-19 Women's World Cup. Giselle Ishimwe was the leading run scorer for Rwanda in that World Cup. She was played in South Africa. I'll confirm with her figures, but I'm so sure that she had more runs than Henrietta Ishimwe. She made 1,000 in Uganda. But Giselle comes from a German word, Giselle, which refers to pledge or noble, that is given as a guaranteed agreement between families or kingdoms. But this name is always common in Francophone countries, French-speaking countries, Rwanda being one of those French-speaking countries. Giselle Ishimwe and another Giselle showing up for another Francophone country in Cameroon.
Gigel also, I think also, could mean promise. Maybe the people listening from Rwanda, I know Leonard Namburo is watching this one, the coach of Rwanda, together with his crew of Mr. Bryson Bijingo, And Mr. Adele Tuizere should be enjoying this one. I hope they've given the girls a day off to watch Kenya, because the girls will be running into Kenya, and Kenya is looking like a well-oiled machine here in the Pearl of Africa, with the sun continuing to be very vicious this morning. The humid, same as it was yesterday, even after there was a down power. Such is the beauty of the Pearl of Africa. When you're not in Uganda, you miss so much. Always, wherever you are, ask the ICC to give the tournaments to Uganda, because Uganda are proving to be fantastic hosts in a beautiful place. First capital of Uganda in Entebbe, and we're in the midst of reality, in the middle of the oldest golf club in East Africa, 1904 Entebbe Club. And look at the backdrop there in your frames. You can see the lush green, the trees, and some monkeys do come into play once in a while. It's so beautiful.
Innocent, the contest of Kenya being one of the favorites in this tournament. 3 of their players have played for the senior women's team. Merivin Kagoitsa, Janet Makau, these 2 being part of the team which played in the Africa final qualifiers for the women last year in Namibia. Whereas Zainabu Hamisi also has some caps with the senior women's team. So these 2 will have to make sure that they carry Kenya forward. Last year in the Division 2 qualifiers, they lost just 1 game to Malawi, but finished second. It was a single robin stage, a single robin format game where the 7 teams played each other once and the top 2 played in the finals. Malawi managing to beat Kenya by 2 wickets, and they advanced to the Division 1 as champions. Both Malawi and Kenya not winning any game in the Division 1, which were played later in Rwanda in 2024, and both being relegated right away. But then now the plan for these 2 should be making sure that they qualify again, and also hope and wish that they can play at least not to be relegated again, because they'll be facing off against the big girls of Africa, the top guns, Uganda, Namibia, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Rwanda. All, and Tanzania, all that one. There will be an injury break as one of the fielder, as one of the players has been hit by the ball. But with that injury break, we've come to the end of over number 12. The scoreboard reads 92 for a loss of 1. In the last Division 2 qualifiers, 7 nations, 3 of them not making it here. Botswana, Eswatini, and Lesotho. Partially because Botswana and Lesotho maybe couldn't fulfill some things with the ICC. Of course, you need to be playing women's cricket. You need some scorecards to tick. So they didn't fulfill some of these requirements. And in the mix, they are coming Cameroon, 5 teams, and only top 2 can make it the Division 1. What do you make of this arrangement and the tournament so far?
It is important to the ICC scorecard, whichever you look at it. And the ICC have been very intentional and deliberate in making sure that these nations do not just patch up things, but to have systems in place. And if you have the structures in place, you reap the dividend. So they will miss out, it will hurt, but they will have to get their house in order. And hopefully we'll see them, because the Swatini earlier on in the fixture, but I think for them they miss out because of things beyond their control.
Exciting, Innocent. And of course, we've seen that women's cricket has gone on to grow. Last year during that ODI World Cup, India being lucky beating South Africa in the finals. There's another World Cup in England and Wales this year, the T20 World Cup. And all the teams are set and locked. But somehow when you look at the number of tournaments that the women are playing every year, they have gone on to increase in numbers. Now there is the Emerging Nations Tournament, like the one that the senior women's team of Uganda and Namibia were in at the back end of last year. So I think it's a really good step being taken by the ICC to make sure that these countries continue playing, and also the women are involved into most of these ICC activities. 2 World Cups played in history, one in 2023 in South Africa, won by India as they managed to beat England in that final. The second one being played in Malaysia, and India going on to beat South Africa in that final. So clearly there has been a shift. Yesterday we saw the end of the test match between England, I beg your pardon, between Australia and India. Australia being luck and winning that one by 9 wickets. So clearly there are so many tournaments for the women to come out and play.
You talk about luck, but I've never seen luck when someone wins by 9 wickets. I think that was a mauling. They decimated the opposition. And for me, the biggest story from there, Alice Haley calling it a day with a playing career, a legend from a cricketing family. And then she's had a say and saying, I've had enough, and she'll hang up her boots. The over will continue here from a Precious Zhang. Precious will be bowling to Zainabo Hamisi, who is on 37, 31. She's motored on nicely there, even with the power hitter in Melvin right there in the middle. Foucault Genfeni right there to do the business.
One of the other things that Cameroon will be looking to do is try and make sure that they deal with this wicket column. When you look at this game, I mean the extras column, when you look at this game, they have so far bowled 13 wides and 1 no ball. A bit many in a T20 game where I would wish that everything comes off the bat. Talk about extras. And another one is on the cards for Team Kenya. They have somehow failed to bowl the good areas, and somehow this could have haunted them, because when you subtract this from the total number of runs that Kenya has, the score could have been a little down. Flight on the offer there, and full punishment there from Melvin Kagwitsa to bring up another boundary for Kenya.
Melvin Kagwitsa there in her full flow, looking every inch like $1 million box. She's continuing here to cream the full tosses down the ground. And I told you, for me, the beautiful thing about it all is she's not only leading from the front as the skipper, but she's playing proper cricketing shots. That's a coach's delight. Any coach in the world would love to see a player that goes about her business just like that.
For these two, Zainabu Hamisi and Melvin Kagwitsa, they have not given away so many chances, because they know how important and crucial it is for them to try and make sure that they bat well for Team Kenya. One would bring 2 as a way to confirm if that's a no ball from the umpire. If one wicket falls, it can quickly fall. But when Melvin Kagwitsa made her way, she's made sure that she anchors the innings already into the 40s. She's just a few runs away from getting to a half century, as there is an above the West no ball and a free hit there for Team Kenya. That is hit. It's the fielder misjudging that one complete, and it will run to the boundary. With that boundary will bring up 100 runs for Team Kenya. Scoreboard reading 103 for a loss of 1 after 12.3.
Beautiful stuff there from the Kenyans. The first 100 of the tournament is up. Yesterday we had scores of 46 and 57. Of course, Kenya and Malawi, who are favored, or every pundit is favorite to go through this qualifier and go to Division 1, chasing down those targets easily in 6.3 overs. That's what Malawi needed to chase down the 46 set in the morning and against Mozambique. And in the afternoon, Kenya chasing down that score in 5.4 overs, that score of 57. And now they bat fast. A very big toss to win, a toss that had smiles and grins across the faces of the coaches, Banja and Ouma. And see what they've done. First wicket, unfortunate one to go down, but already the 100 is up, and it's a beautiful storyline for whoever is watching on from a country with the code 254.
More runs there for Team Kenya. Slow outfield. And the fielder there just managing to cut off that boundary. I love what I heard from the dugout. Should have been some French words. But clearly telling her to take her time before she throws that one in, because you can easily step on the boundary and maybe end up giving free runs to Team Kenya. But that's some good effort. She ran all the way from extra cover towards long off to make sure that she cuts that one off from running away. Final ball of the over there from Foku. Lighted and wide will be the call from the umpire. She'll have to ball it again. Great awareness there from Melvin Kagwe. She was standing right at the Nande striker's end, but as she saw that that ball had gone past the wicket keeper and the fielder Baka shot fine, called her partner for another run, and Kenya still motoring on the runs. Well, confirmation that that ball had touched something, maybe, as the umpire has confirmed that we've come to the end of the over. And at the end of over number 13, the score is 107 for a loss of 1. In the afternoon, we'll have a deja vu. The last Division 2 qualifier. Sierra Leone opened against Malawi, and they will be opening again their tournament against Malawi. Just waiting a bit to confirm the stats that happened in that game. Sierra Leone, Malawi won that game by 8 wickets. Sierra Leone managed only 76 for a loss of 8 in 20 overs, and Malawi managed to chase down. And when you look at both teams, for Team Malawi, a bit changed. Not so many names returning, but Esther Richard being one of those few that are returning. Whereas for Sierra Leone, they are also somehow changed. Not so many of them will be returning in this tournament, but that game coming up later on at 2 p.m. And Sierra Leone, not a team that you can write off in this tournament. They are also a team that can make a mark in this tournament. As Ate Kelly, the captain for Team Cameroon, gets the ball to ball from the golf clubhouse end. Starts her over nicely, 2 dot balls in the over. She is looking in very good rhythm. Not too much control in that shot by Zainabu, just onto the edge of the bat, and they will scamper quickly to pick up that single. Current run rate 8.03 for Team Kenya. Projected score 160. Full and played through cover. First time we are seeing them fail to use a fielder at extra cover. There's a fielder running in from long off, kicks the ball and manages to keep it in bounds. The applause is because she's saved her team, which could have been about a certain boundary there at extra cover.
The fielding has been a notch high for Team Cameroon. Back in the day, they would have licked many more runs in the field, but they've put on an athletic show, and those are some of the good signs you'll have to see in this tournament. It's very important that at this level, the coaching doesn't base a lot on victories. It's a learning curve, it's a learning process, and the beauty of it all is that if the girls can improve, but most of it all, from a coaching perspective, the ideology should be the girls should have fun.
They are debutants in this tournament. They should be hoping to play and take as many lessons as they can back home. But the dugout in your frame, the dugout for Team Cameroon, should be a dead ball there from the umpire. as Chris Kelly releases the ball before she gets to her proper release bowling point. But Cameroon playing twice in Kwibuka, their senior women's team, clearly shows you how the game is growing in the country. They have interested themselves in playing in the other tournaments, and it's something real good for the game to grow. Final ball of the over. She will have to bowl that one again. Chris Kelly over negotiating, over compensating, and that goes all the way past the wide line.
Chris Kelly Fulai from the Entebbe Golf Club end. That's a beautiful ball there. But by start-stop affair from Melvin Kagoisa and Zainabo Amisi, but they scamper through home safely. Indication of the umpire. Bring all the love from a country called 250. Veronica Rio is a no ball. Free hit loading. Team Sierra Leone in the building. Right about now, Malawi made the short trip from the beautiful Lake Victoria Hotel a couple of minutes ago. And let's see what Zainaba Misi, what type of treatment she has for this free hit. Into the 40s as well. She's had her bat right from ball one. There she goes. There could be another call for another no ball. I don't know. Let's see what the umpires indicate. Chance for a second. They don't run. The throw is poor. It's been a long fielding show. The Cameroonians in cricket and in a tournament cricket, you've got to learn on the job and learn very fast. After 14 overs, the score for Team Kenya is 116 for 1.
116 is the score for Kenya with the loss of 1 wicket after 14 overs.
Match day 2 of the tournament. Kenya taking on Cameroon in the morning, whereas in the afternoon, Sierra Leone will square off against Malawi. Projected score 166 for this game, current run rate 8.38. Chance to catch, and the catch is taken. Not too much power, opening up her blade, but just dabs it to the fielder who was standing right close. And in the second wicket for Team Kenya goes, Zainabu Hamisi will be the batter to depart.
Beautiful catch taken there by the fielder.
That was a very, very good partnership.
Almost motionless. The partnership, a beautiful one, comes to an end. And between the two, Zainabu Hamisi, the wicketkeeper batter for Kenya, will be guilty. She held out when she was under no pressure against the run of play. Take forwards and look at the dugout there. That is at Malawi in your frame momentarily, but this is a dismissal again.
For the loss of 2 wickets.
Straight and full. Just on that invisible fourth stamp line. Catch hit straight. And look at the celebrations there. Almost muted celebrations from the Cameroonians. And she's happy to give the ball back to the umpire. Says, let's continue with play. We've got business to do. Another 6 overs to play. Zainabu again gets a start. Yesterday she fell for 15 from 13. She was run out. Today she gets into the 40s and has a senior player on the team. Senior, I call her senior because at this level they're not really big seniors, but I call her senior because she's played for the senior women's team of Kenya. She must convert these ones into 50s at this level and create some sort of legacy for herself. In your frame there, the Sierra Leones are in town and hopefully they will be thinking we'll be giving no freebies. The ladies from Freetown. Second wicket falls, Akele with the ball. Akele Doris.
Yesterday, Cameroon against Malawi, Akele managed to pick up a wicket. Cameroon got only 2 wickets, one being a run out. But Akele managed to remove Stella Kunje. Stella Kunje was bowled yesterday. So this is the second wicket by a bowler for Team Cameroon and something for them to celebrate. Yesterday it was bowled. Today it had to involve a fielder to take that catch. She was standing right close. And I tell you, Innocent, if I was the umpire, maybe for safety reasons, I could have told you to stand slightly away from the blade. But in the end, at that point, a catch is taken. And Cameroon with something to celebrate in this game. Janet Macau is the new batter who's walked in for Team Kenya. Very well known for her trade of bowling. But at this level of cricket, she comes in at number 4. She can muscle some balls down. Hits that one to cow corner. Long on was standing very straight. And Janet Macau manages to get off the mark with a boundary.
Janet Macau certainly sent it out there in the middle to do some muscling. And you can see that she got a freebie, a gift from the heavens. And she said, I'll send it in the vacant region there, cow corner area. The ideology from the coaches is that she can get some quick runs here. And yes, she's shown that the loose ball or the long ball will be hit very, very far. She's played for Kenya as well. So there's a lot of experience. Call it mini experience in these young ladies from Kenya. This would be a good storyline there. They could make the back pages, the headlines of the country in a season where not many national teams in Kenya are playing. So going back to Division 1. Deft touch from Melvin Kagoisa, the skipper. First half century of the tournament. She raised her bat. You can see the coaches leading the applause in the dugout. Our production crew should give us that shot. Very happy people. Those two in the dugout, Margaret Banja and Maurice Ouma, scored as many as I think 10 centuries apiece for their countries at the different levels. And when they see a person doing a copy and paste like what they did, it gives them only joy.
A happy moment there for Melvin Kagwaitsa, bringing up the first half century and lighting up the day here at Entebbe Cricket Oval. 50 off 40 at a strike rate of 125.00. A very healthy strike rate, slightly above 100, as she keeps making sure she gets runs. And I think the idea here for Coach Maurice Ouma and Margaret Banja is to get as many runs as they can, so they come and bowl out Cameroon, because it's a single robin tournament. It's a single robin format tournament. As another boundary comes, so in the end it will come back to net run rate. So you need to make sure that as you're winning, you win well, to try and make sure that you work on that run rate. They already have a net run rate of 7. They should be just looking forward to keeping it even higher.
End of the over, 129. Just the 2 wickets down, and 15 overs have been played out. Here we are, 30 balls left in the innings. Melvin Kagoisa leading from the front onto the 50s now. Beautiful strike rate. And Ivan was telling you guys about how you need to win well, not just win, appeal. But there was an inside bat onto that one, an inside edge onto that one. Yesterday's victories, you saw the chases from the two teams, Malawi and Kenya, setting clear daylight between them and the other teams in the tournament. Their net run rate is Kenya's win because they chased down 57 in 5.4 overs. Their net run rate is at 7.2 after just one game, and they'll look to make that better as this one there is edged behind the keeper, the fielder at short gully who chase and give up in the chase because that's another boundary. The boundaries have come through thick and fast in this innings for Kenya, who are looking to make that net run rate even better. For Malawi, they chased down 46 yesterday in 6.3 overs, so their net run rate is at 4.3. So what they've done here is they've left the West Africans and the Southern African in Mozambique to do the hunting duties. They will be the hunted going forward in this tournament.
8 boundaries from Evan Kagwitsa and a total of 14 boundaries in the innings. 3 for Zainabu Hamisi, 1 for Tania Atieno, whereas Gineti Macau has scored 2 already. She's on 9, but 2 of those are boundaries. And you clearly see there from the swing for Melvin Kagwetsa. She open his up blade and make sure that she puts in that long straight to make sure that she can access it on the full. Of course, she is looking at that vacant long off. Anything lofted in that area could go away because the field is set up here for Team Cameroon on the bowling of Atekris Kelly. They have Longo on but standing straight near the screen. Kaokona right in place, whereas they have another fielder at extra cover, but there is a very big gap and there is no fielder between that straight Longo off and extra cover. So Melvin should be looking at hitting it there, but backwards of point, but there is work to do by the fielder in the deep. They are pushing quickly and taking for the risks. They'll just take that one run.
That to think why Melvin and Macau are not taking the runs here. The runs on the plate, they should hog everything on the plate and leave nothing to chance. There was a chance to get to there, but Melvin looks like he's comfortable and she's playing safe to get just the singles. But at this level, you're still very young. You need to push for 2. It's not a good sight when you run 1 to a ball you've struck to the boundary and with the fielder having to run around it and cut it off. Not good cricket for me there.
I love that. Knows the risks. She has saved her team at Chris Kelly. Her bowling display has not been so bad. I wonder why she came in to bowl a bit late. But at the end of her second over, Chris has given away 16 runs so far. And after 16 overs, the scoreboard reads 136 for a loss of 2. Four more overs to play in this batting innings of Team Kenya. 136 for a loss of 2 runs already in full flow. Kenya will be hoping that they win this game as quickly as possible. Nafak back to bowl in the innings. She's been the most economic so far for Team Cameroon. She's bowled 2 overs and conceded just 7 runs. And now she comes in to bowl her 3rd over and starts it so well with the dot ball.
Dot balls will be gold dust here for Team Cameroon, especially at the back end here of the innings. They don't want to give away so many to Kenya. Hitting it down to the sweeper. Fine stop. The backup not very beautiful, but it's all good. Of course, Team Cameroon's coach plays for the senior women's team. Waluma Brenda, helping with the coaching and the managerial duties. Dead ball. Indication from the umpire, Patrick Makumbi, there making his presence felt. He would like to have the players play in the true spirit. Kana from the airport end. I like the bowling from the teams from West Africa. It's proved a lot over the years. And the bowling much straighter. They continue to get singles here, Kenya, in the 17th. 138 is a good total, but not imposing. Can we see some good show from the Cameroons in the second innings? Maybe, yes. They were out of action. But look at that power hit. Up and over. Is that the first maximum of the tournament? And yes, it is Melvin Kagoisa with the power hit downtown Kaukona region. Beautiful.
Not only it is the first 6 in the game, it's also a first 6 in the tournament. That is it all the way by Melvin Kagoisa. It was in the slot. She created room and managed to work it over the cow corner boundary right in slot. Melvin Kagoisa showing her power. You spoke about an imposing total, and Melvin Kagoisa already imposing some power here against the Cameroonians. Good comeback there from Kana. She manages to bowl a dirty ball. One more final ball for her there to complete the over. And she should wrap up that over with that single. As we come to the end of the 17th over, the score is 145 for a loss of 2 wickets. Innocent, when you look at this game, Cameroon has already used 7 bowlers, and only 2 of those are yet to give out extras. Namfaka Kana, who's so far bowled 3 overs, conceding 16 runs at an economy of 5.29, and Akamba Giselle Isadora, who has so far bowled 2 overs and conceded 20 runs. They are the only 2 bowlers who have stood out and are yet to give out extras. There will be another bowling change there as the captain momentarily gets out of the attack. Still, it's the captain in the attack. She has just changed the action. She's been bowling some bit of medium pace, but now she's changed and she's bowling some spin. But I hope there's no coffee.
$145. She's going through her over quickly here. At a crease. She was the skipper yesterday, but today the team list has a Zhang Precious Chang as the captain. So changing the leadership roles and tossing around the armband for Brenda Waluma as she so pleases. Janet Macau has not really hit the ball. But it's been all about Zainabo Hamisi, who departed for a well constructed 43. And now, headlines in Kenya should be all about Melvin Idamboka Goisa, the skipper leading from the front. 3 overs for Ate Chris. And she's bowled very well. None for 17. Another 2 overs left in the innings. How many more can Kenya get?
When you look at the previous over, Innocent, Chris Kelly giving away just 1 run in that over and bowling to a well-set batter in Melvin Kagweitsa. I believe when you look at the display and body language there from Melvin Kagweitsa, unless her dugout can try to carry her, she looks to be getting tired. So if they don't give out so many extras, Team Cameroon, maybe Kenya will be stopping at around 160. Because we've not seen so much yet to come off the blades. 10 off 7 for Janet, whereas Melvin is on 64 of 55, but she's looked to be dropping the shoulder when you look at her display in the previous over. Kana back to bowl her final over. Not a very good start for her as she starts with a wide, and she'll be looking at amending that line. Again, down in the leg for another wide in the over. And this has been something concerning for Team Cameroon. But well, it's the first time these girls are playing in an international tournament. So they should just hope that they can do better. Apply themselves a little bit better if they can reduce on the number of extras, improve on the throws from the boundaries. They will have some good positives to take back home in the western part of Africa. Melvin Kagweitsa playing that one past the fielder at mid-wicket and pushing for the second to bring up 150 runs as the team total for Team Kenya.
Special applause there from the dugout for that little milestone for Kenya as the 150 does come up. For Kana, she'll have to keep the straight. Make it straight and simple. There's the power on show for Melvin Kagweitsa, who hits it down the ground to long on. And once the fielder collects, she's happy with the 1. Beautiful sights and sounds in Entebbe. Monday is an artisan day at the golf club. An artisan means all the caddies get to play for free. All the volunteers at the club get to play for free, but they caddy for themselves. And they play some competitions, and the club gives them what you would call like a day off. A day off at work, but you get to play. And the club gets to host them to a small drink and eat at the end of the day to reward them for their hard work done in the previous week or to prepare them for the week ahead. So you can see, if you look around the course, you'll see everyone with their bags. Those are caddies, and some of them even get the joy to use their master's bags to play, because golf equipment is quite dear. I've seen some little good wildlife, the birds around Entebbe. It's a very beautiful place with an English setting. If you've been to England, to remind you of some traditional grounds. One commentator here has lived in England for some time. Some of us don't love that place because of the weather. I am happy to dash in and dash out. 152. Make that 153, 18.4. The runs haven't come. Ivan Sajabi's prediction could be on point. I felt it could get to 170, but there are no really big hits here at the back end of the innings. There is one. She listens to the commentator and says, "What are you talking about? What hogwash?" And she creams one to the onside. Beautiful strike.
Kana going too short on that occasion. Melvin Kagweitsa just opening up a blade. Pulls that one away to the vacant deep mid-wicket area. And she manages to bring up another boundary. Some anger there as Melvin Kagweitsa now goes to 71. She said, yes, I may not be running too hard between the wickets, but at least I can muscle some balls away. A shimmy down the track. She doesn't keep in the line of the ball. That rolls through. And Cameroon will celebrate the wicket of Melvin Kagwaitsa, who has asserted her power onto them. Melvin Kagwaitsa falls and Kenya loses the third wicket.
Melvin Kagwaitsa, the skipper for the Kenyan team, will trudge off, but what an innings she's done, and this is how she perished. A half-tracker, a shimmy down the wicket that went through her like a thief in broad daylight, and rearranged the furniture right behind her. It was there for the hitting. She didn't just connect. But well done, Melvin. She'll get a standing ovation from her dugout there. She's done a very good job. Alice is the new batter in for Kenya. Alice Kariuki, an all-rounder, sitting of course here to do some big hitting at the back end there. Just the final over coming through now on 157 for 3.
She didn't carry her bat all through, Melvin Kagwaitsa, but she's done a very tremendous job. Walked in at number 3, but she's made sure that she pushes Kenya to a respectable total. Ate Chris Kelly will be bowling the final over of the batting innings for Team Kenya. Her last over went for just 1 run, and she manages to start off with a dot ball. Janet Macau making a shimmy down the track, but the issue with her is that she moved away from the line of the ball. It was always going to be hard for her to play and connect. Spinner bowling, but Cameroon using a fielder at 30 man for the balls that might roll through. Good connection there from Janet as she runs through for a single. And the other fielders being used by Chris Kelly, Longo on and extra and deep mid wicket. All the other fielders are inside the circle. And Alice Kariuki taking her time to take guard and get some more runs for Team Kenya.
Into the evening of this innings. It will be all over in just 4 balls. No connection from Kariuki. And Macau looks at her and says, can we dash through for a quick buy? No buys on offer. Full and straight. And that is kept out nicely. Still celebrating the Happy Women's Day. And the flowers already been given to Veronica Iriho, who is arguably standing in her first ICC tournament, if I'm to be exact. Dot balls at the very end here.
She's had a few tournaments at home. Most of the tournaments that are hosted by Rwanda, of course, not ICC. But this tournament coming to East Africa, she made a mark. She comes from a place called Muhanga, where she is also doing a lot of good work for Rwanda Cricket Association as a development manager, a regional development manager in that region. There is also a cricket club that she plays for in that place called the Muhanga Zebras. But those 3 runs will wrap up the innings. Kenya finishing on 161 for a loss of 3 in the 20 allotted overs. Kenya won the toss and opted to bat first, and they made sure that they power their side to a solid, respectable tournament high so far of 161 for 3. And when you look at the batting card for Team Kenya, Zainabu Hamisi scored 44 off 40, a strike rate of 110. Tania Atieno 5 off 9 before that run out. Whereas Melvin Kagwaitsa, before being bowled by Namfaka Kana, she was the leading run scorer for the side, scoring 71 off 59. Janet Macau unbeaten on 12 off 11. Ice Karaoke 3 of 4, whereas 26 extras were given by Team Cameroon, something that they should need to go and work on. 1 wicket apiece for Akele, Doris, and Kana Dokase as we come to the end of the first innings. We'll take a short break and we'll return with the second innings of this game.
Right now it's on wali minus, on wali positive on. So you just turn it all down. Doesn't have the other titles. Going to bring other. That's the top. We're going to bring other microphones later. It's something wrong with this. Sound
Not like fitting. Another one. I have been suffered. I don't know why they do.
Tewali buzibu. Sikusobola nkutya.
Evan, funa kumaliza wane Yesu na mwego. Kali yao. You're fasting, sorry. Era tukuonye gwe fasting. Gafi nawo.
You've not yet switched it on. We are switching it on.
Steve, tuje. Steve, tutandike. It's still a beautiful morning here, just 10 minutes to midday. And we're back for the second innings. The mathematics is simple, whichever you look at it. 162 is the target. They scored 8 runs every over going on here, the Cameroonians. And it should be a very good inning with having some real fire in their bellies. And there is the opening bowler, Nazarene Oluoch. She starts with the wides. She should be able to do better. Nazarene Oluoch bowled very well yesterday. Comes into this game with some real good wheels of pace.
Yes, Innocent. Nazarene was one of those that had a mention just behind Stella, who was outstanding in that game against Mozambique. And she starts it off. Just the second ball there, picking up the first wicket of Tekwe. Not able to understand what just happened. People disorganizes the furniture and sends her packing to the dugout.
You can see that huddle, the sack of trust from the Kenyans. They're happy. Early inroads here to send Tekwe back to the heart. And they will be celebrating the Kenyans. They did the job in the first innings, and see what they do here in the first over with Nazarene Oluoch here rearranging the furniture in the house of Tekwe. Early on, Cameroon in trouble. The two batters working on now, having a little hug, pumping up each other. It's going to be a tall order for them. They know that it's clear, and the sides don't lie.
Innocent, at this level of under 19, there's a lot of motherly, huggly kind of affairs to just keep encouraging the players. We've seen these incoming batters hug just to encourage each other. We got this. I know it's a tall order, but as a team, as a duo, we can do something.
Oluoch, if you look at the Kenyan team, there's another left-hander in the senior men's team named Oluoch, Lucas Ndanderson. And this left-hander is also equally exciting. The wides are her undoing, but she won't care so much about them if she can continue to make real good inroads early on here in the power play. Already one down, scoreboard reads 2. No one will be looking at those extras if Kenya can really do the business in quick time.
Very good line delivered there and good length, getting just slightly above the stumps. Potentially exciting all the fielders. That looked like it was just slightly above those bells. That is what you want to see, a pumped up under 19 side from Kenya. Very loud on the field here.
If you're listening in, my name is Innocent Daula and I am with the Princess, Naomi Kayondo Bagenda. More wides from the lefty, Oluoch. Everyone reminding us, saying, Karibu na yeye. Naomi, you started in a Swahili-speaking nation. You know what they say about Swahili? They say Swahili was born in Tanzania, grew up in Kenya, but died in Uganda and was buried in Congo. Maybe you can tell us what Karibu na yeye means.
Innocent, so you know Swahili now is the East African language, so it is important that you also learn it. But Karibu na yeye means just close to her. So the fielders are just encouraging Nazarene to deliver those ones close to her body, and I know to get another breakthrough.
I have played some, so I know my way around Swahili. I can't fail to get a meal or find a matatu to take me home when I'm in Nairobi. So sometimes Karibu could mean welcome, chance for a run out, good hands. Umpire Patrick Makumbi Musoke will oblige and send her packing. The running was good, but not good enough because the throw was better. And how Zainabu Hamisi completed that run out. Spectacular stuff. Kenya, it's all about green and red in this game. 2 wickets in the first over. those are real inroads being made here.
Very neat fielding there, piece of fielding there. And Akela is sent back to the dugout. Coach Brenda there just encouraging her batters. I told her I'm sure she knows, but as a coach, you never give up on your team, and that's what we are seeing. Continuously encouraging her players, but the Kenyans know or feel, even the body language displays that they know that they're on top of this. This is their game. Having set over 160 runs, 161, massive total there.
Long over for the lefty. Edged. There is a couple of fielders in the slip cordon there, and there's one to do the third man duties, and they're doing well. Just giving away the one there. Steve, TV affair for Decos. Steve, TV affair for Decos, Steve. Umpire will not call that a wide because of the batter shuffling across the stumps. Four for two after the first over. Marion, it's a left-hander's affair for the for the West Africans here. The Kenyans serving up here, one left arm after another. Marion Jacinta didn't bowl yesterday. Today she'll get a chance to bowl some medium. She was in the playing 11, but didn't contribute in any bit of the game. And she starts with a dot ball. That's a half track of sorts. But this level, you can get away with those ones.
Innocent. Just to observe that there is a fast slip there, and the vibrant Zainabu keeping those wickets. It's the encouragement for me, the constant clapping, the celebration of the dot balls that makes the game exciting. And this display is one of those that you want to continue seeing throughout the tournament here at the Division 2 qualifiers. Kenya continuously showing that they feel they don't belong to this level, and seeing that they are favorites. The display here proves that they are a level apart. One there down the leg, keeper doesn't keep a hold of it. And Sakinatum and Akele run that quick one.
Sakinato and Akele have got a rebuilding work to do. Won't be easy with Kenya bowling some really good deliveries. It's a left-hander's affair for the Kenyan bowlers after a very good over ball by Oluoch Nazarine. Here is Marion Jacinta from the airport end. Appeal, but appealing for nothing there. That was going down and down.
Marion back with a smile. It's the encouragement, it's the little high fives amongst these Kenyan fielders that show that unity, that team unit. Everyone is concerned about everything that is happening. For the dot balls, very loud hand claps, high fives, well done. In Swahili, ndio hiyo. Back in the day, I think when we played some under 19, cricket there. The Tanzanians and the Kenyans used a lot of Swahili to confuse us. We somehow had to learn the language, bits and pieces. Jacinta Marion delivers that one really straight, stump to stump. Ndakele has not much of a crew where to place it, but at least she has the basics of stopping that one, not hitting her stumps.
Scoreboard still stuck below 10. Second over almost coming to an end here. 6 for 2. It's in the air. Who wants that? Fielder sitting back. She won't be able to complete the catch. Stella Rogers, play of the match yesterday. Is your fielder in your frame there? She bowled very well. 4 for 14. She was all over the opposition. The Mozambicans like a bad rush. End of the over now. 2 done. Still 6. Runs on board for 2 wickets.
Innocent, it's interesting to see how under 19 girls cricket has improved over the years. Like I mentioned, I played, I think, the first under 19 girls tournament with the likes of Namugenyi Karo. I think Coach Raymond Otim was our coach at the time, manager Diana Musime, and it was quite a squad. So it's interesting to see a couple of years later that there's still tournaments for the under 19 girls to be engaged in and pathways for them to get to the senior levels.
The bit of it all when you guys played is that it was at the regional level. East Africa trying to go one notch better than the rest of the regions in Africa to play these underage tournaments. But the beauty now, people are playing for World Cup sports after the World Cup was introduced in 2023. The first edition being held in South Africa and won by India. Uganda not able to beat Rwanda in the semi-finals there in Botswana. Proskovia Lako was the big name for Uganda in that squad, but whenever she didn't connect, Uganda was all over the place. Dot balls affair here continue. Sakinatu and Akele, they are the heavy lifters for this Cameroonian side. They do most of the bowling, and now even with the bat, they've got to rise to the occasion. Here is Oloch hitting the deck hard, trying to extract some bounce. You can clearly see that Kenya, the field setting, the body language, they clearly know this game. It looks like the game is in their veins. They're born cricketers. A well-coached side. Swing and a miss. Big appeal from the lefty. Every time the batters swing and miss, she's appealing. And she does that action. If you looked at one of the Kenyan internationals who's now not announced himself that he's retired, but he's not played for Kenya for some years now, Nehemiah Odiambo Ngoche. Same similar bowling action, but Nehemiah is a righty, but this one is a lefty. So it looks like she already has some idols or someone who is really coaching her. Beautiful sights to see. We love the Kenyans in Uganda, and we love to beat them whenever we come across them. Again, good bowling action, good line and length, everything beautiful from Nezarine.
to play it, and then with a bat. Because we can see her playing with a horizontal bat, it's getting Nazarene excited that there could be a chance for a click on that bat.
Cameroon playing for survival. Just really holding fort. Looks like the idea is they want to play out the 20 overs. What in Uganda, the girls have had the girls and the boys say kaboche.
Kaboche to mean let the opposition team stay in the field for another 20 overs.
Yeah, it's okay. We will not chase you 160, but please bowl your full quarter. Don't disrespect us. 7 for 2 after 3 overs. Not yet even in the tens. The required rate now has moved to 9 per over. Marion Jacinta will be coming back from the airport end here at the Lakeside Oval in Entebbe. Left-handers and the change in tactics. Yesterday, the slow bowlers did the trick for Team Kenya. The skipper, Melvin Kagoisa Idambo, was guilty of bowling it a little too fast at this level. The idea was to take off the pace, get the pace off. But every time there was a connection, she was screamed for boundaries. She bowled wide fours.
Marion Jacinta there, keeping it stump to stump, very decent line, and it will be consistency that will bring her out as an outstanding bowler there. But Akele also not with so many ideas just to be able to play that ball or protect her stumps. Because like you said, looks like the strategy is Kaboche. One there inside edge, but the attempt to run is not on.
It's the tale of the day where you see the gap in class, the gap in quality, the strength in numbers that the Kenyans do have, and the impact they've made on this game. Clear daylight as Jacinta looks for a wicket here. Jacinta, for me, I believe, should not be picking many wickets. If she doesn't pitch up, she needs to bowl a little closer. What you earlier explained to those listening in, Karibu na yeye, keep it a little closer to the batter. Better let them play like that with the full face of the bat. That should be the ideology. That should be the notion going forward.
Solar delivery there, and Akele is able to play it much better to the cover region.
Wides on offer from the lefties. It's been a wide affair in this game, and at this level, you expect the extras to be many. Kenya have already given away 7 extras, so of the total runs on board, the 8, 7 of them are extras. And if you go back to the first innings, Team Cameroon gave away 26 runs in extras. Big appeal. Patrick Makumbe Mosoke not interested. The Ugandan umpire, with some ODIs under his belt, he will have and enjoy this one because he's having a debut. Tantina Veronica Rio at the ICC level without there in the Mid East. Not the first time they're working together though. They stood out in the middle in Kigali before in some of the regional competitions that do happen in East Africa. End of the over. Now it is 4 overs gone and the score is still 8 for 2. Here we are. Stella Rogers. Beautiful name, Stella Rogers. English or British name. I'd love to see her parents, what they look like For her skin color to be named Stella Rogers, you must have taken something very strong to take those two names. And she starts with the dot balls, starting off from where she set off yesterday.
Stella Rogers comes into that attack with an award on her shoulders already after just the one game that Kenya has played.
5 wickets to Stella Rogers for her in the tournament now. First over, and she rearranges the stumps of Sakinatu. She ran off the wicket, getting her from the crime scene without getting noticed. DJ on fire with those beautiful Kenyan vibes, the Kenyan music coming through. Kenya will want to wrap it up. The new batter walking on, I like her trot, her choke. Is a Mengwenenzie Francois Clara. Mouthful of a name, but all good.
Easy pickings here for Kenya. Picking the third wicket, Stella Rogers still on fire. Just a bit of a rest in the night and she's back to where she stopped. Replay there. Ball nips in and disorganizes that furniture, sending Sakinatum back to the dugout. But with that dismissal brings in Nzei at number 5. Innocent, I can imagine what instructions do you think the coach has given her?
Go score some runs. This should be easy. And Stella Rogers doesn't like that. She's angry with herself. But what Stella Rogers does, the good tactics, she's always back to her bowling mark, almost in a flash, as soon as she delivers the ball. So you don't give the batsmen, all batters, a lot of time to settle. And you also keep focused. But sometimes when you're overzealous also, it leaves you bowling some loose deliveries like that. That is edge to the fly gully and very well stopped.
Innocent, we talked about tactics, and this may be that Stella is not very aware about what she's doing, but being able to get back to that run-up very fast kind of doesn't give the batter room to think about stuff. But while we're at it, Nze gets off the mark with one play to the mid-wicket region. Opportunity for the catch not taken, but it gets her off the blocks.
End of the over now. The Kenyans do finally come up on board. 3 wickets are down. 10 for 3. Here's Jacinta continuing to bowl from the airport end, and that is a flicked off her legs. The coach is too, but he's very clever. He's not interested. She says, I don't have enough pace to come through quickly. The coach, Maurice Ouma, immediately where there is a chance to catch. And third man will have to do a lot of running around that one. And she casts it up and tosses in the throw to the keeper, Mary Atieno, in the front there with the fielding duties from the third man.
Jacinta delivering a fuller one, but slightly outside off stump. that gave Akele the opportunity to play it with much wider arms, giving them that opportunity to run through comfortably. You'd want to see the Cameroon batters taking either the swingers or taking twos where they are actually there and not risky.
Of the match contender there, I beg your pardon, Melvin, in your frame there, doing some fielding in the covers. And Jacinta, so doing well. Dot balls are fair. They've really denied Cameroon any free runs. It's the extras that have given them some sigh of relief. And there they are. They continue to get more and more extras. Like I said, 26 runs came through in extras in the first innings. So Cameroon were very generous. And Kenya is playing back in the same vein. 9 extras already on a total of 14. Not out. It's on the leg stump. Marion would have a wicket, bowling for the first time in the tournament on match day 2. Of Kenya. In the air momentarily, no one will catch Stella Rogers and Melvin can keep it out. And it's the end of the over now. 14 for 3 after the power play.
End of power play. 6 overs down. And the score is 14 for the loss of 3 wickets.
Nancy Wafula, the keeper for Kenya. We beg your pardon. Zainabu Hamisi. I beg your pardon, not Hamisi. Yes, Zainabu Hamisi kept wickets yesterday. Today she was in good flow with the bat. But it's Nancy Wafula keeping wickets today. So Kenya showing off a bit. A lot of talent in their ranks. The team's playing in the afternoon. I've already had the lunch, quick lunch here. It's just midday in the Pearl of Africa. No chance to run. Oh yes, she's been nutmegged by that one. Marion Jacinta. And they'll scamper through for a quick single.
Akele bashing that one, playing it a little off. And it finds a sleeping Jacinta to get them the opportunity to run one. Everything in the shape and form of a single or 2 runs is very valuable for this Cameroon side.
You guys have been working overtime. Back in the day, one of our fellow commentators, he was in the comms box yesterday. He used that trick a lot to disturb the umpires, to tie his shoelaces whenever he needed a breather, or to relieve some pressure, or to slow down the game a bit. And it worked. I've seen Veronica Iriho in this game and Patrick Makome Mosoke do a lot of the tying of the shoelaces for the players of Cameroon. One time too many. Beats the keeper. The throw is direct to the stumps. From the fielder, Tania Atieno. But all is good. yesterday by this time. Now you were having a breather somewhere because it was a quick chase. But today Kenya coming and putting on 160. It's 160. If it was the Nigerian team playing, they say 160 for sure. The West Africans, though, will be out here to play. They will be eager to get their campaign off the flyer. They are the dark horses of the tournament. Sierra Leone, watch out for the ladies from Freetown. But this is the end of the over now. 7 gone, 16 for 3. Mary Atieno from the airport end bowling also for the first time in the match. In the air, look at the chance for a run out. The throw is good. Oh no, they make a mess of it and they chase its own. The throw could roll over to the boundary, but the outfield is not electric. They have a chance to run for another one, but they say we will not take too many risks. We're already living dangerously.
Innocent, that overthrow. Keeper could not keep it into her gloves and the backup must have been sleeping. But the Cameroon ladies know that they'll have to push for as many as they can, but at least the two, go with the two that are safe and risk-free.
In the air, but nowhere. Nice one. Sets down that one nicely. And the run is merited. She gives a thumbs up to her partner there, Akele and Nzei Clara.
Akele opening up with her leg and giving herself room to play that one to the middle region, which I think is a very good technique there, at least that we've seen. And that was a very safe, risk-free single. Very good cricket here. Some positives for the Cameroon players to take.
That is even better from Cameroon. Nzei Clara will get Cameroon the first boundary, and the applause from their dugout will tell you the full story. They are a happy dugout, and there's not even a fist pump. It's a leg what? What do you call that?
Innocent. Describing that one is a bit hard, but the celebration and a bit of the relief. Yeah, I could even see the coach there. Very excited that one of our players, hits that one all the way to the boundary. Your replay there, very, very happy. The dugout, very excited. Attempting to do the same. Nzei plays it to the square leg region. And she'll tell her partner to just hold it that side for the one.
Very good over for the Cameroonians, that's far. I like how they're keeping out those ones. And now the scores moved into the 20s. 24 now for 3 after 8 overs. The two are grinding out their small partnership. Yes, and to give them a lot of belief. Nzei and Akele. 24 for 3 after 8. Stella Rogers from Entebbe Golf Club, and And that's the beautiful thing about Stella. She pitches up full deliveries there. That's why she's able to pick up many wickets, because once you miss, she hits. Hit straight, but no runs. She backs up on bowling with good fielding. Stella Rogers.
They found guilty of not maximizing that full delivery. Swung and missed the first one. The second one she did complete, but didn't place it so far.
It's in the once that nobody will catch. Three fielders convening, but only to pick it up after the bounce.
A bit of disappointment there. I mean, it was a dolly one, but there wasn't so much of a call and responsibility for who is taking that catch.
Hit very hard.
She plays that one. Pass the point cover, point fielder, and they will take two.
Midfield from Kenya, they are lapsing our concentration. Not about tuck this one away. Bottom hand coming into play early. If she uses the front hand, she'll be able to get many more runs. And what they have done here, Cameroon, is that they have reminded everyone that Kenya's bowling is not that all. Good chase. Is there with the hit. The left armer here fielding at the boundary, running and chasing. She does very well here. Only watch Nazarine. End of the over now. 9 gone here in Entebbe. And Cameroon needing 162 for victory. They need now 134 in 11 overs with the scoreboard reading 28 for 3. The captain says, I have seen enough, and I'll slow down the music for the Cameroonians now. And she introduces herself into the attack to bowl some office. She screamed through the covers. That's a beautiful shot. That's a textbook shot from Akele. Again, Nazarene Oloch has been chasing leather all morning, all afternoon, and has still to get the spell of Melvin Idambo Kagoisa started. Again, there with the leading edge, and it's another chance to run. Stella Rogers. And I beg your pardon, that is Mary Atieno. Zainabu Missy now. Today she's doing her fielding duties.
Nzeo and Akele gradually building their partnership. They being out there on the wicket for a long time together, they've started to figure out how to go around this bowling attack from Kenya. Nzeo at 12 of 17 and Akele 9 of 27.
Those two came together with the scores on 8. And can tell you that 23 runs later, they're still together and fighting. Nancy Wafula, not knowing too much about that. She looked like she wanted to dive, take cover for safety. Hit with the horizontal bar there. He won't get many runs. Ball too heavy on her. This is the end of the power play. 31. Not the end of the power play, I beg your pardon. We are at the halfway stage. 31 for 3 after 10. In another world, 31 for 3 will look like a beautiful score in ODI cricket, in Test cricket, but not in T20 eyes when you're chasing 162 for victory. The Princess, the face of the tournament, now Mabagenda Kayondo, will take a break from a Victoria Pearls captain. She hung up her bat and her boots from all cricket last year, but I have heard someone luring her to come back and play because we believe she still got some runs. She looks as fit as a fiddle. But with me in the comms box now, allow me to introduce, I don't know if he's a prince also, from where he comes from. He'll tell us more of those stories. Ivan Cyprian Sajabi, welcome to the comms box.
Thank you, Innocent. I'm not a priest from where I come from, but at least before the death of my father, I was working in the palace, taking care of the king's animals. I think our work in the palace is taking care of the animals, but taking care of the animals and the farms. And as I come to the comms, more 131 runs needed by Cameroon pick up victory. They may not win, but they would wish to make sure that they get close. And these two batters should try as much as possible, try and express themselves on the wicket, apply their shots, do whatever the coach has been training, so that they don't get pulled out. When I was hanging out the boots, Innocent, I'm one of the people who played those testimonial games. And I managed to score 2 runs. I was batting alongside Lydian Aya, a very good friend with Naomi Kaunda, and she kept telling me to keep going. And those runs came off the bowling of Leon Chigozi. You know what this means? But wicket time, the off stump is uprooted. They trying to go for a power shot, but no connection. Janet manages to come into the attack and picks up a wicket right away for Team Kenya.
Long walk back to the heart for Zay because she played with a horizontal bat across the line going for a big hack. She's a guilty party. She shadows the right shot, but the Kenyan hurdle will celebrate with their results who have brought them here. It is a refreshment. It's been a hot day. The humidity here in Entebbe high. 4th wicket after beautiful partnership. The two came together at 8 runs, and they've put on a partnership there worth 24 runs. Well done to the two, but it's now time for another batter to come out here and grind. Kameni Elomo is the new batter and she'll be on strike.
The captain now going for the experienced. Janet Makau has played for the senior women's team, and she was with that squad when they went for the Africa division for the ICC Women's Global Qualifiers, Division 1 Africa Qualifiers in Namibia last year. I cited her in a few videos with Martin Suji doing some work at the High Performance Nets down in Namibia. So as soon as she's given the ball to come into the attack, she manages to pick a wicket there for Kenya, breaking a growing partnership. And with just a level ball in her over, it's already been a final over, 2 dot balls, make it 3, a wicket, only 2 singles in the over. That one will roll through the legs of the wicket keeper, work to do for the fielders backward of the square, and they will only cut it off a single. That single wraps up Janet's first over. The over has gone for 3 runs, and Janet has not picked up in the over. As we come to the end of the 11th, the scoreboard reading 34 for a loss of 4 wickets. Innocent, coming into the tournament, you expected Cameroon to keep growing with every game. Yesterday, 4 1 outs in their dismissals, and today they have somehow taken care of that. Their communications have been good. A half chance there, not taken by the Kenyan fielder, as Melvin Kagoitsa comes back for her second over.
Guilty party there in the field for Kenya with the drop chances. Marion Jacinta, the skipper doesn't blame her, just looks at her and says, "Give me the ball." Another miss there. No stable base from Akele this particular moment. If the keeper had some good hands, Nancy Wafula, she could have stamped her. Let's look at the chance for a run out. It's all over for her. The run out is completed. Kameni, Elomo, Frida, Elizabeth will take a walk back to the heart because there was poor communication between the two on different networks. The message was heard, but it wasn't sent.
They'll need to address that quickly because you can't afford going out, run out, because it means you've just gifted away your wicket to the opposition. Some little more work still to do for Team Cameroon. Yesterday 4 run outs, today 1 so far. And they'll need to make sure that they continue. Well, that's the ball. It was well driven through cover, but when you see the field at the 9 striker's end, she was leaning on her bat. She didn't make that start, which is a basic of cricket. But of course, Cameroon, a team which is not here to put a lot of competition, but to participate and take the lessons back home. They lose another wicket to run out. They still need 128. Quite unachievable looking at the cricket on display. But they should try and make sure that they play out the remaining overs, maybe complete all the 20 allotted overs in the innings. That should be a tick for them.
I must warn you that Victor, the president of Cameroon Cricket, is listening in, and you won't be friends with him if you say his team is here to participate and take lessons. It's a clear. It looks like and for Akele. That was the end for Akele. 6 wickets now gone, trudging backwards and completing a very athletic effort there. There is the hack across the line, taking off the pace today. She's bowling better lines, and look at how the catch is completed and the celebration. She's done very well. Marion Jacinta, 2 or 3 misfields earlier on, but that catch, she pulled it off with real conviction. She showed a lot of desire.
Another flighted delivery there from Melvin Kagoitsa. They hit at the same place, and another catch from Yasin. There for Team Kenya, and now they are wrapping up the Cameroonian batters. A hat-trick for the team. A hat-trick there for Melvin Kagoitsa, innocent.
We are so reminded by ICC that spectators are reminded that doses of homophobic and other abusive products and language will not be tolerated and shall result in introduction
Your women's team, and she's
positions, other sanctions, including
Hat-trick ball from Melvin Kagoisa. Yes, the Kenyans have picked 3 wickets in 3 balls, but one of them was a run out, the first one. So now it's a team hat-trick, but now more importantly, this is the hat-trick ball. She's not able to squeeze it through those gates. But what an over. It's been very eventful, action-packed, and it's blown away the Cameroonians. End of the over, 34 for 7.
That was the end of the over. The score is still 34 for the loss of 7 wickets after 12 overs.
The flighted balls there from Melvin Kagwetz are giving them some quick wickets. And now Janet Macau back with the ball. A little further to the wicket keeper is put down, but Janet Macau running back to her, run out very quickly. And I think here the issue for Kenya, they have started trying the combinations when the tournament has already started. Coach Morris trying to make sure that he doesn't fall out of options. Hamisi being the wicketkeeper yesterday, today she's been changed. And still, Margaret and Morris are still making sure that they get the necessary combination. You never know what could happen ahead of the tournament because injuries might come to haunt you. So you need to make sure that all your options are right and ready. There are some people rooting for Team Kenya. Odoi Alozias, Ugandan, right there. Idambo Lavenda, Annie Wangui, all rooting for Team Kenya and hoping that the team can make it back to the Division 1. That qualifier will be played in Tanzania later in October. 3-dot balls for Janet Macau to start off the over. With fine figures, she's given away just 2 runs in the 9 deliveries that she has bowled, and she's managed to pick up a wicket. Akele, 10 of 36. Just making sure that she takes her time at the crease.
It's also a good workout. You go and enjoy your time. Yes, cricket is a team sport, but when you bat and bowl, you bowl as an individual. So it's very important sometimes that you go there and enjoy your time out there in the middle, because you cannot get any experience, Ivan, if you score 2 runs like you, or 0 of 1. You need to be out there in the middle and get to play 40 balls, score your 15, your 20, not just 2 runs of 1 ball and you're back in the hat.
Innocent, going back to that testimonial match, I walked in when about 3 deliveries were remaining to bowl in the over and the innings. So I know Naomi will be near here trying to argue, but that's the fact. And this my batting partner here, Naya, has evidence to that. So we didn't have so many balls to play in the innings, but at least I'm happy that from those about 3 balls, I faced 2 and I managed to score 2 runs, making sure that my strike rate is exactly 100. And 5-dot balls in the over. Concussion test there being called by the umpire, and I think it will be a breather for the teams that they take some water because it's been too humid. When I was coming from Kampala to Entebbe, I saw a lot of fog along the express highway, so there were clear signs in the morning that today was going to be a hot day. Of course, the weather in Uganda keeps changing. You never know when it will rain and when it will shine, but today has really been a day of the sun coming out of the clouds.
As that medical break does happen, that's the beauty of Uganda. That's why that man named it the Pearl of Africa way back. Because in Uganda, on a particular single day, you can witness all the 4 seasons of weather in just one day. Yesterday, when we turned up here for match number 1, we really could have a late start, but where the sun came from and the humidity, it got many of our fans. The guys from Cow Corner turned up here in good numbers to watch, removing their shirts, and we're telling them to go away from the camera zones. No one wants to see their 2 packs.
Or 1 pack to be precise. But we are remaining with 7.1 overs to play in this game. Cameroon will need to score 18 every over. It's a tall ask if they pick victory, if they have to get the remaining 128 runs from the 7.1 overs. And as we get done with the medical break, we are just remaining with the ball to complete this over. Already 5 dot balls in the over. Good bowling this way there from Janet Macau. She's been bowling stump to stump and making sure that she doesn't give anything to the batters.
Macau, the experienced one, with some Kenyan caps, Korea to come through here with good pace. I like a pace. Get 1 run there. The last over, 3 wickets falling. This one, Kenya would like to wrap this up and take a breather, take a rest. With the rest day coming up tomorrow. End of the over now. 35 for 7 after 13.
Melvin Kagwaitsa now comes back to bowl her third over. She's so far bowled 2 overs, picking up 2 wickets. A half chance there. That nearly carried to the bowler from Akele. More flight on offer there from Melvin Kagwaitsa, but another dirty ball. The batter just making sure that she keeps her head down. More dirty balls.
Keeping that one out. Melvin Kagwaitsa continuing here to run the traffic. Her 2 overs, 2.4 overs now. She's gone for 3 runs and she has 2 wickets. She also has a maiden already. Again, touch and go. That's the problem with Melvin. Sometimes she gets a little zealous and it's a direct hit. And she's gone. The run outs. The run outs. Right there now. Akamba Gigel is gone. Direct hit. Things from the Kenyans there. And they find the bullseye and celebration time.
Yeah, the direct hit coming in quick time before the batter had made her ground. Maurice Akamba disappointed there as we have to depart early. But that was the shot. Not too much control in that shot. Just stabbing it down, but there was a full right hand on the arc. And a direct through had to see Morris, to see Akamba in trouble. A bit close, but the umpire standing in a very good position to make sure that she raises up her finger. Another over comes to an end with maiden wicket over, and after 14, the scoreboard reads 35 for a loss of 8. One of the things that Kenya needs to address as quickly as possible is the number of extras. 26 extras in this game so far, compared to yesterday's 21. When you look at the other tournament favorites in Malawi, they weren't giving out so many yesterday. They gave out only 9. Something you can deal with in a T20 game. But in a game like this one, where your opposition is not scoring runs, you need to make sure that you only bowl the good areas, because this game may come to haunt them, and it may turn down to who wins between Kenya and Malawi or Sierra Leone, who are also in the mix. But Janet Macau is back in the attack there for Team Kenya.
The keeper guilty party. Nancy Wafula has not put on a very tidy show with the gloves. She can do a lot better. Nancy
but the way she's kept the wickets today would give a lot of work to be done by Maurice Apollo Ouma, who was a very good keeper batter for Kenya at both the under-19 level and the senior level.
Maurice Auma has also earned some caps with the Tornado Bees Cricket Club. Last season he came, but this season he has not yet come. It's only David Obuya who came on that opening game last weekend when Tornado Bees managed to beat 7 Lions at Lugogo Cricket Oval. Wafula.
There is the confusion, there is the mix. Nancy Wafula, good hands, good work. Wicket number 9 will fall again. The calling is poor. They start, stop, and you always perish if you go with the stop-start affair, because you run into heavy traffic with the Kenyans all over the Cameroonians. Cameroonians look like they had learned something from yesterday's run-outs, but I tell you what, today they are also guilty. You look at the wickets that are falling to run-outs, not one, but 4 wickets of the 9 they have lost today. Run out. So if you're a very good student over the French Revolution, you will say they learned nothing and forgot nothing.
But there was clear hesitation between these two batters, or maybe a chance for them to turn down the run. But since the ball had fallen into right in front of the fielder, they thought maybe there was a chance. Not quick legs. And another run out there affected by the wicketkeeper Wafula. You know, so speaking about Wafula, Wafula is a name that we do name in the eastern part of Uganda. The Samia to be specific, and it means a person who was born when it was raining, because they call rain Ifula. Not sure what it means down in Kenya. But the final batter for Team Cameroon has made her way to the crease. 2 new batters at the crease, and maybe an opportunity for Kenya to wrap up the innings, get out of the hot sun, go and take a rest, get ready for tomorrow's rest today, and then see what happens after.
And she keeps that one out. Look at how Janet Macau has a hand on her head, saying, oh no, I came this close. The name Wafula in Kenya is named to the Luya people. And it also means the same thing that it does mean from Samia. They say the one who was born during the rainy season. So Uganda and Kenya, not just only noisy neighbors, but very good with the ties that bond the families. End of the over. 35 for 9 after 15 overs.
Two back-to-back maiden overs there for Team Kenya. Melvin Kagwaitsa at the back of a wicket maiden over. She comes back to complete her spell. Starts with the full one and it is hit up in the air. There was a fielder at covers and the catch is taken. That catch there taken by Olwatch will mark at the end of the innings. Cameroon, who looked like they could bat all through the innings, have now been bundled up on the first ball of the 16th over.
Here, Ivan Sajabi is at Cameroon were 33. I beg your pardon, they were 31 for 3. But now, I tell you what, all the remaining 7 wickets have fallen for 4 runs. Kenya dominant in the field, dominant on the day, strong with the bat, clinical with the ball. They've been all over the Cameroonians. The East Africans reigning over the Indomitables from Cameroon with a big victory. They crossed the finish line with a 126-run victory here. And there's the batting summary.
2 out of 2 for Team Kenya as we look at the batting summary for Team Cameroon. Apart from the double figures from Akele Doris, 11 of 11, the rest of the batters didn't manage to get to double figures. But the match summary there for you. Kenya won the toss and opted to bat first. Melvin Kagwaitsa top scoring, 71 of 59 for Team Kenya. Abisi Zainabu, 44 of 40. Macau Jede, 12 of 11. A wicket apiece for Vanna Dokasene and Balbine Doris. Cameroon in response. Francis Kamara 12 of 22. Doris also posted 11 of 14. But Melvin Kagwaitsa and Macau managing to pick up 3 wickets each. I beg your pardon, managed to pick up 2 and 1 wicket respectively, whereas Oluoch also chipped in with a single wicket. As we come to the end of the innings, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. My name is Evan Sajabi. I've been here with Innocent Indaula, but Naomi Kayondo Wagenda will be coming to you shortly with the post-match presentation. So make sure that you keep around to hear the reactions from the 2 captains. Kenya has kept the flow of runs. Spectators would love to see it there from Melvin Kagwe.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the post-match presentation. First game on match day number 2, where Kenya was playing Cameroon. Kenya set 161 runs for the loss of 3 wickets, and Cameroon was only able to get to 35 all out in 15 overs. Kenya won the game. It was an interesting one. But before we go there, I would like to speak to Chris Kelly, captain of Cameroon.
Hello.
Chris, hard luck with the game today. What are some of the lessons that you have picked from your second game?
Well, from the second game, we've learned like have more vision because we lacked the concentration during the match. There was a lot of precipitation, and from that we need to learn from it and ameliorate so that the next matches will not commit the same mistakes. And then with our bowling, we need to limit the number of wides that we're giving, and the fielding we need to work on it because we have our balls pass a lot, so we need to try and limit the number of balls that goes out and prevent the balls from running around the field.
Okay, so concentration and improving on your fielding. Okay, those are good lessons. Hard luck, and good luck in your next games.
Thank you.
The Cameroon side had challenges in the field, but those are lessons that they've picked, and we'll look to improve them as they move forward. I would like to speak to Melvin, captain of Kenya. Congratulations, Melvin, upon the win.
Thank you.
2-2, how does that make you feel?
Very good.
Well done. What are some of the outstanding performances that you have observed as a captain in today's game?
Marion took very good catches. There's a good throw to the keeper, and the keeper was able to do run-outs. That was good.
Okay, very good catching there by Marion. Very well bowled. You also did some great batting, but I know as the captain you may not be able to put it out there, but very well played to Team Kenya. Please step aside. I would like to invite Marjorie Nanchinga to give out the Player of the Match award. Special mention will go to Janet Macau, who scored 12 runs, but also picked 1 wicket. Zainabu Hamisi, who opened the batting for Kenya, scored 44 runs. But the player of the match is Melvin Kagoisa, the captain, who scored 71 runs off 59 balls and picked 3 wickets in 2.1 overs. Melvin, please come and receive your Player of the Match award.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Melvin, once again.
Thank you.
As you won the toss this morning and chose to bat, you wanted to bat first. What was going through your mind as you scored these runs?
I was just looking to bat around each and every player, setting an example that we don't need to hit big shots, you need to stay there. Knowing that we don't have a very big batting lineup, I needed to take it to my shoulders.
Okay. Very well done as the captain and the player of the match this morning.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That marks the end of our post-match presentation.
So also